Welcome to the LANCave where we're living as nerds. I'm Patrick. I'm joined by Owen.
$700.
700. I don't know why it's not switching to you. What's $700? There you go.
I added up, and I'm probably even missing some games because I haven't gone through the all the indie stuff that's coming out. But in the next several months, I want to say between now and whenever Guardians of the Galaxy comes out, I calculated $700 worth of video games that I would like to purchase.
So, because we're now in current gen, it's no longer next gen. We've been here for like 8 months now. Current gen, $60 for AAA. So it's not 10 games though. Is it like 12? How many games is it?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 games.
15.
Two of them are, no, three of them are Game Pass games, so 16 games because I forgot Halo.
Which thankfully, so Game Pass. By the way, if you have an Xbox, you need to get Game Pass. Go look on CD keys. If it's crazy cheap to do that. Because then you get these first party games. And I'm sorry, spoilers for this. Other than some biased things that I could throw in there, Xbox won it this year. I mean, if we're going to give a crown to someone, I'm thinking it goes to Microsoft.
I mean, you can give a crown to Microsoft. I do not agree.
You don't agree? Okay.
No. my crown would go to Nintendo. Probably.
Okay, but Nintendo, because it was like so concise, because it was so like, I mean, I don't think it was all winners for Nintendo. I think that we had some bangers, and then we had some situations. What do you think? I mean, did you just think it was just consistency or what?
It was a lot of things. It was dates.
Mm-hmm.
It was getting dates on games. It was getting gameplay from games.
That's true.
They ended obviously with Breath of the Wild 2, which is going to skew my bias a little bit, and said that they're aiming for the end of next year. And there wasn't gameplay there, really. There was a lot of in-engine stuff. There could have been some gameplay. Who's to say like how much of that is trailer or not? But they showed games coming out this year. Like they didn't talk about Pokemon Arceus at all. That means that's going to come in a later direct. Like they pretty much avoided next year minus like a couple of very specific titles, and they're like, this comes out on this day, this comes out on this day, this comes out on this day, here's a game, here's it being played. Whereas to me, I didn't get what I wanted from Microsoft. You haven't pressed the record button yet, by the way. I didn't get what I wanted from Microsoft because we said it right before the E3 thing when we were talking about like our predictions and whatever. I wanted Halo campaign. I wanted to see it. Don't get me wrong, the multiplayer looks dope, but they didn't even show the best part of the multiplayer during their conference. They did a separate like multiplayer event, and I guess that's fine, but I still think the game's in trouble from a campaign perspective, and the multiplayer is free, so it doesn't even matter. I
agree. And you know what? We're going to jump around here a lot. If you've not, I mean, we could go. There are other shows that are going to go line by line. This is what Xbox said. This is, but I'll just jump ahead because I did a side by side comparison. I was like, here is Halo. On your left is the new. On your right is the one that we saw a year ago. And I'm sorry, I don't think it looks that much better. Most of the textures look really flat. I know it's kind of hard to see because it does kind of move relatively quick. But I don't think that the game looks that much better. And we're still looking at I don't know. We're not looking at the facial models like in game, which is what people were making fun of hardcore. I don't know. I don't think it looks that much better. I think this game, it probably plays great though. And there's another game that I want to talk about on this stream that plays great and doesn't look that great. So maybe it's that kind of situation. Maybe it really sings, but it looks like an Xbox One game. Because this looks like an Xbox One game to me. I wasn't impressed by the graphics. That's your side by side. I'm sorry. Like I don't see one. I don't think that this looks insanely better than that. This to that. I don't know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like and it's just a thing of we didn't get much more in regards to the campaign, and then we showed Starfield. and they put a date on Starfield, but they didn't put a date on Halo. Halo's supposed to come out this
Holiday.
year.
Yeah, and they had that holiday. I'm like, really?
And Bethesda put a date as November for Starfield, and now I honestly don't even think they're going to hit that. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll see.
It's November 2022.
2022.
Yeah.
So they put a date on a game that's so far away, still didn't show us anything, which, fine. The game's over a year and a half away. I don't really need to see it, but my thing is just, why did you show it to me, other than that the fans want it? And, you know, I'm kind of outsider here. I'm not a big Bethesda person to begin with. My favorite trailer of everything aside from Breath of the Wild 2, honestly, was Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2 stole the show for me because they really tongue-in-cheeked like what E3 was.
You got the point on that one too, by the way. I didn't look at our points. I don't know if you tallied them up, but I mean, so you didn't. Okay, like it was like not that anybody else is keeping scores either, but no, Outer Worlds and to an extent Wonderlands, they both were kind of spoofing the industry and spoofing recent games. But yeah, Outer Worlds 2 coming out and like narrating like the cliche after cliche after cliche, and specifically pointing out things that are like, this is just to get you excited, and we don't have this character model done, and this is the thing, you know, that was hilarious. And like, oh, there's this giant beast, is it in the game? No, it's not. I loved it because for anyone to do it, for Obsidian to do this, like I said, Gearbox, they get that credit as well. But Obsidian and Outer Worlds hit this like nail on the head, to the point where, so Whitney was watching this conference with me. This is the only conference she watched with me, and she was like, wait, there was another game? Like, she didn't put it together like that this was a sequel to another game that I was playing. She wants to go play Outer Worlds because this impressed her. Like the comedy, not necessarily the graphics, but the fact that they were like making fun of the industry. I thought it was hilarious.
So I was doing some quick math here. So far I'm at 4. You 1. Dang, man, we missed hard on Nintendo.
Yeah, Owen's tallying up our predictions that we made a few weeks ago. We purposely made the predictions like 3 weeks ago to make sure that no leaks or anything like got out, or you know, we weren't influenced in any way.
4-3.
Okay, so it wasn't that. You didn't like last year. You demolished me by like by a good amount. But overall, good. I mean, there was some good stuff announced. Other than like, Halo was a letdown. I will say Halo multiplayer being free, I think is cool.
Sure.
If you have Game Pass, you can play the game day one anyways. But Halo multiplayer being for free, I thought that was cool. I almost feel like they were like, we have to put this game out. It's probably not worth the full amount, so let's just get it out and get it over with. Like, kill it, and hopefully the multiplayer is great. I mean, that's kind of my feeling about it.
Yeah, I think that honestly, Arcane kind of saved this show, and this is again why I can't say Xbox One. I think that a lot of people are ready to be hyped, and maybe just people had better set expectations on the Xbox show, because I saw Twitter and Twitter was all about it. I didn't have time to watch it live, so I went back and I just kind of watched it trailer to trailer.
Okay.
Checked out everything, so I didn't watch the full 90 minutes, and so I'm basing this totally off of just like the game stuff that they showed. I don't know if there was any real fluff in there or not, but
not
Redfall,
much. Yeah.
Redfall looks dope.
Redfall was. I was waiting for that one more thing, and this was a really cool one more thing. As soon as it started, I was like, okay, we see post-apocalyptic stuff, we see stuff like this, okay, well, and you're like, okay, it's a group of 4, okay, we got Back for Blood, so I'm like, okay, what are we really getting at here? The character abilities seemed kind of Borderlands-esque, where each character has kind of their niche, and I was like, it's not bad, but I was waiting for the ball to drop of what is the hook? What makes this game something that I want to play? I love the other stuff that Arcane's done, but when it was like, and they're vampires, and they're cultists, and they're weird powers, I'm like, I'm in. because everything is zombies, everything is that, and to bring in vampires, cultists that are like following them, and I thought it was cool. I like the dark humor to it as well. I mean, I'm hoping it has couch co-op, but I'm guessing it won't.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, probably not. I don't expect a lot of couch co-op these games, but you never know. You could definitely tell that this was Arcane, though. It looks a lot like Deathloop in terms of its graphical nature, but I really think that it was great them being there and having that thing to show. One thing that definitely popped out to me and now makes me want to play the first one. It's been like a thing that's in my queue to play at some point, but a Plaguetail Requiem looks good.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got it. I can't remember, honestly. I can't remember if I own it or if it's on Game Pass. It's one or the other. But this looked great as well. At first I thought this was like Fable or something. It was just a little tease. It was a little taste of the tone of the setting, and it was enough to get me. It was enough to get me intrigued. And I was gonna say I was literally watching this, going, "What are we looking at? Is this Fable? Is this Prince of Persia?" Like I was having trouble nailing it down because I hadn't played the first one. You said you haven't played the first one?
No, it's on Game Pass though, I think,
Yeah.
and so I do want to get it downloaded and stuff. It's just I don't think it's going to happen this year. It'll probably happen closer to whenever this game comes out.
Probably won't, because there are so many games out.
I haven't got to start Ratchet yet, man.
Yeah, I played Ratchet. I didn't get to play a lot of it, but it is great. It is next gen.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say like Nito.
No,
I don't know. For some reason, it sounded like you had an in on you. I was like, is he gonna say Nifty Nito?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's next gen. I will say that I watched Whitney play it, right? And when you rift, it's so quick in pulling, because you're pulling yourself, but really you're pulling the environment to you, right? As opposed to like a hook shot, right? It's like the environment just pulls to you, but it's so quick that watching her play it was almost disorienting. It was weird. It's weird to kind of feel that, because I'm like, we're at this time now where, I mean, other than watching like a Twitch streamer or watching someone else play a first-person shooter with a mouse when you really quickly bounce back and forth, like of course that can be disorienting. But no, it's really good. I like the humor, and I've seen people on the
I've heard
forums.
People say it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. I've seen people like saying, "Oh, it's childish." Yeah, it is, and that's okay. Like it's for funs. Like
it's like have you ever seen Ratchet before? It's supposed to be like that. It's got that Shrek niche to it, where it's like it can be adult but be childish at the same time.
Yeah,
that's the vibe I've always got from it. Is that like it's supposed to be like that game that the family can play. That it's something that you can play while your kid is awake.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten around to that yet, but I'm assuming you're playing on Performance RT.
Performance RT. So I've got.
Is the ray tracing gorgeous?
It's pretty. It's so pretty. I didn't switch. I wanted to switch over to. Every time I switch to fidelity mode now, and I start playing,
That's 30 frames, man.
I'm so spoiled. There are certain games, and I still say there are certain games that like Last of Us and other ones that are really story driven that are fine. But when you play a game, they give you a 60 frames game, especially one where you have to dodge. If you just have to dodge 60 frames at least at this point.
Yeah.
I played Demon Souls in performance mode, and then I went back and I'm playing Demon Souls. I haven't played in about a week, but I'm playing on PS3, and it's just the quality of life. Everything that they did on that game is so much better. I'm addicted to 60 frames at this point.
Speaking of 60 frames, Final Fantasy 7. Baby.
Yeah. So
intermission is good.
I didn't have it queued up. So
it's okay.
thoughts on intermission.
From a story perspective, it's really not that interesting. Like it does give some depth to Yuffie, which is
Mm-hmm.
cool. In the original game, she is just kind of, they give her some, but really like
Yeah.
this adds on to it and gives her like a lot more motivation and stuff, and like that's cool. But really, what it feels like to me is there's a lot of bosses, there's a lot of fighting, and so like especially in the second chapter, the first chapter is kind of like walk around, story it up, get to know Yuffie
Mm-hmm.
and her sidekick, and then the second one it's a lot of fighting. The combat, the 60 frame combat in this, it just upped it so much more. Final Fantasy VII R was already, as I've said many times and
Yeah.
will continue to say, the best like party based ARPG I've ever played.
I can't
It's
wait to
so
go
fun.
back and play it. Like
Yeah.
with the upgrades and everything, because
It's
we did.
it's so fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And Yuffie is a lot of fun to play. I actually can't wait to have her and Tifa in the same party because I rolled around with Tifa as the main in 7
Mhm.
R, where I switched it to where I would start as Tifa just because I enjoyed playing her
Sure.
boxing style so much. And
Yeah.
then with Yuffie, you throw the star and you start lighting people up with her ninjutsu. Her and Tifa tag teaming on like the strength part. I might make like Cloud my magic person
Yeah.
in R2. We'll see how it goes, but I love this game so much.
Yeah.
I felt bad that I haven't gotten to Ratchet yet. I don't know why I feel bad. It's just kind of one of those things where like I was so excited about it, but I put 7 hours
Yeah.
into intermission. You can probably beat it in like 3.5. But
I've-
I
yeah.
did everything there was to do in chapter 1. I did not do everything there is to do in chapter 2. There's a battle sim that I didn't get to.
Okay.
But love it. It's
I'm
great.
almost done with chapter 2. I've spent almost 7 hours, but I played a ton of Fort Condor.
What's dumb is you don't get a trophy for beating it even unless it's on hard mode. There's a hard mode for Condor, and I'm like, how much harder can it get?
Well,
like,
hold on.
the
I thought I got
Grandmaster's a
one.
jerk.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
thought-
you might have.
I'm playing on normal. You playing on easy?
I'm playing on normal, but
Okay.
I'm not playing on hard. And there's apparently a trophy for beating the Grandmaster on
Yeah.
hard mode, and I was like, can he get harder because he's already a jerk?
It's ridiculous.
He's
yeah.
a big old jerk.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not looking forward. I am considering some like I'm thinking about platinuming 7R, and I'm like if I platinum 7R, I don't have to do intermission, but I'm like I might as well. It shouldn't take that long. That's going to take the longest out of all of it. Is actually beating him. I did okay with most of them. I was just a moron and didn't go buy the other units. So like I was just like I was hitting my head up against Roche like repeatedly because I hadn't bought any units. I had like a ton of coins and I hadn't actually found the Happy Turtle guy. I was concerned that the Happy Turtle I had to go to Walmart. I was concerned I had to go to Walmart for that. And the music you said the Happy Turtle like
I've
heavy
had the
metal
Happy Turtle,
one.
just the bass theme
Yeah.
stuck in my head
Yeah.
all weekend.
the jazz one. I was feeling
It's-
it. Yeah.
I've thought about the platinum a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't like playing games on hard, and so that's the thing. I've heard that there's an accessory you can get in the main game that starts you off with a limit break every time, and so if I can go get that from the Coliseum, I think you
Yeah.
get it from. I have to look it up. If I
Okay.
go get that accessory, maybe
Mhm.
I'll do that. But I kind of just want to like I'll probably just start where I just start like chapter 1 on hard mode
Yeah.
and kind of see how it goes. But I think I need to max level
Yeah,
everybody
that's-
before I move over to hard.
That's what people were saying. They were saying beat it, and then you get level. You can do chapter select.
Yeah.
And then you go. I think they said you go back into chapter 1. I can't remember. There's a grinding spot, and they were like just grind to hit max, and get all the best equipment, grind to max, and then start hard, because then hard mode isn't as bad. In comparison.
Yeah.
Like we said, there's a ton of stuff that we could go over here in E3. Random thing that came out, though, and I just wanted to bring it up because I was like, why is this a thing? The Intellivision Amico is
Yeah.
going to be released. Like, I don't... It's just like the Atari thing. Like, I just don't know what they're getting at. I mean, yeah, those are some great games, but I don't know if you saw anything about this or you had any thoughts on it. I just don't see.
I think the concept is interesting.
Yeah.
They mentioned what they're going for in terms of aiming for. They're trying to make it a toy. They're making it where they specifically spoke to like a family mode. They specifically spoke to all games are microtransaction free. The game is the game. That I think the price point, they said all games start at like $10 or less, I think is what they said in an article I was reading. And so I get if they're really going at it from like, this is a toy perspective, this is a thing where you pick this up for your kid's birthday or for Christmas, you have some family fun that way. I can see it. I really need to see it in action. Really, like same. I need it to come out and see what's going on. I'm interested just from the fact where they said that their target market was they're aiming for people with young children. They said I think they said like 3 or 4 or 5 was their base. So like my son doesn't quite reach that. He just turned 2, but it's still something that I'm interested in at least like seeing. I don't know if I'm going to drop any money on it. The games do look extremely basic, but you can tell from what they're doing, several multiplayer games, several like arcade style games. I'm not going to knock it until it comes out, but it's going to fail. That's without knocking it all. I just said it's going to fail, but I hope it doesn't. I hope I'm wrong.
No, I agree. I mean, because even like I love my minis that I have up here. And the Nintendo one did really well, and that's because they put out a select amount of it and then they stopped. So supply and demand worked out. The Genesis and the PlayStation did not have that. The PlayStation, they had a ton that were made. It wasn't enough games. The value wasn't there. I feel like that's what's going to happen here. I feel like there's enough stuff on the market that someone's going to look at it and say, does my kid want to play this game? Or do I want to get a, at this point, do I want to get a Xbox One instead, or get an Xbox 360,
or an iPad?
I mean, that's where I was like, I feel like it's going to fail. It's not that it's a bad idea. It's there's so much in the market right now that you could spend your money on. I just don't know. We'll see what happens with it, but I feel like it's going to fail. I agree. Don't want to spend too much time on that, but I was just like, Wonderlands, we talked about this. This was a rumor. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I'm all in on this. I love... I'm a big Ashley Birch fan anyways, but I love Tiny Tina. I love what they did with the Tiny Tina DLC in Borderlands 2, and the idea of a fantasy D&D-esque thing done by Gearbox, but all in on it is this own unique world. You're not playing part of Borderlands. It's this unique, meta microcosm, if you will. I think that sounds really fun. And the humor. I mean, Gearbox is fun and funny.
Yeah, I was surprised. I actually didn't know that there was a rumor for it, so maybe I just missed it. The thing that I think was interesting about it was like kind of the gameplay to it. That there's like, so Tiny Tina is like your dungeon master or whatever they're calling her.
Yeah.
And so she can change the game boards and stuff. That's interesting. I still am in a place where I'm not really a big fan of Gearbox these days, but if the game like comes out and reviews well, then there's a good chance that I'll be interested. And plus it's just a fun character. Tiny Tina's always been fun. That's Ashley Birch, isn't it?
It is. Yep.
Okay,
that's Ashley. Yeah, that's one of her first like things, because Anthony was writing Borderlands 2.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
She was, not that there was nepotism or anything. I'm not saying there's nepotism, but like, there was an in of sorts, and honestly, I think it helped propel her. If Hey Ash and everything else hadn't done that.
What you playing?
I love that.
I was how my wife knew her too, and then I was like, hey, she's in Life is Strange, and she's like, wow.
Yeah.
I knew her before she was cool.
Right. We're hipsters like that.
Yeah.
You mentioned this the Death Stranding director's cut. So I have Death Stranding, I need to look in. I honestly haven't looked into if there's a like upgrade or anything like that. Path that I need to do on that. I didn't beat Death Stranding. I want to beat Death Stranding. I want to experience it. And then in addition to that, I missed this. Death Stranding 2 had a trailer, and apparently I missed that. So,
What?
yeah, it came out like a week ago.
Death Stranding 2?
This?
Is this Death Stranding 2?
Apparently.
I don't.
I had to Google
think
that.
Kojima said.
Unless someone made this, it was on an E3.
No, that's. Kojima said he's working on something at Summer Games Fest, but he didn't say it was Death Stranding.
Yeah,
I think somebody made this. Like, the last I heard is that. I don't know.
It was.
It's not official, whatever you think. Or at least I don't know. Death Stranding 2.
It's on the. It's on the E3. Hold on. Yeah, I've seen it posted. Like I may have gotten duped, but I was like, "What the heck is this?" If it's fake, it's weird and well done. I may have gotten duped on it.
I don't know. I have to look at this. It says E3 2021 channel, 16K subscribers. This has had 141,000 views.
Yeah.
Note, this is a fan-made trailer.
Okay.
There we go.
I got duped. Okay. So it happened.
I was like, so Kojima was at Summer Games Fest, and he talked.
And he didn't say anything about it. So that's what
did tell me, when you saw Sam, is the character's name Sam?
Yeah.
Okay, when you saw Sam put the box on the shelf. Now, I love this. I was cracking up. I messaged you immediately, and I was like, you're going to love this trailer.
Yeah.
Do you take that as metaphorical? Do you say, like, hey, this is... Like, I know that you've asked me about, like, a remastered version of Metal Gear Solid or a remake of Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. I'm putting this box on the shelf. Does that told me that he's done? Yeah.
I think that's what they're referring to. Let me get that spot. I mean, him getting in the box and all of that. Like, I think this was purposely, like you said, this is all metaphorical. It's Kojima, so of course it is. I think it was him getting in the box, like, this doesn't feel right, I'm just going to leave it here, which doesn't mean that it's destroyed. It doesn't mean it's never going to happen. It just means not right now. We're setting this aside. We're going to go do other things. He's been doing Metal Gear, whether he wanted to or not, he's been doing Metal Gear so much. He kept saying he wanted to end it, and they kept bringing him back. So, yeah,
That's what I took it as. I was listening to like another podcast where they were thinking that there was a tease, and I was like, I mean, I just thought it couldn't be more fitting him putting the box on the shelf. Like, I think that this was total like, I think he knows, he obviously knows that game in and out. He knows how to shoot a trailer for a Metal Gear game, and then it was like, hey guys, just. I thought the trailer was great. Even though I've played none of this game whatsoever, I thought that this could not have been better. What I do hope, though, is that Death Stranding PS4 gets a PS5 upgrade so I can get it on sale and then not pay for the director's cut.
See, because
I want to play the game.
Yeah.
Now I've put myself in a space. I've heard enough about it from enough people that I could get past the baby thing and really, I'm a walking simulator kind of guy, and so that interests me even more. Yeah. And I want to experience it at some point. It was close to a price point. I wanted under $20. It was at $25 over this last spring. If it gets to $19.99, I'll probably be in. I might just buy it on PS4 anyway and not get a PS5 upgrade. But if they would do a 60 frame upgrade in addition to releasing the director's cut version, I'm down with that.
No, that'd be cool. No, I agree. When he got in the box and he was like hiding, like I couldn't. I was cackling at like, because he knew what he was doing with it. It's definitely an experience, but just like everything else that this man does, it can be cryptic and confusing and weird and multi-layered. But I still think I think what I've played of it, I thought was a good experience. It does get weird. It's it's not too, I don't know, too dark in the baby thing, but a little bit. But and speaking of cryptic, we finally got Elden Ring official Elden Ring gameplay, because
I was about to say, talk to me about Elden Ring.
yeah. So I'm excited. I mean, so this is the collaboration of George R.R. Martin and Miyazaki, who did all the Dark Souls games except for Dark Souls 2. The only thing that I don't like about it is the hair and some of the textures still look like Dark Souls 3-esque, like that kind of era, which but the idea, and there's still, of course, a lot of this has been kept hidden. They don't want to give away too much, but I think that what we're piecing together is that the enemies the bosses are, and I may be wrong on this because we're trying to figure this out, but the bosses in this are essentially like lords of these lands, or prominent figures who have pieces of the Elden Ring now, and you're trying to form the Elden Ring back together to do the thing.
Sounds very Lord of the Ringy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because rings in the title.
Probably because rings are in there. I mean, it's very, very tropey when it comes to it was a thing and now it's in pieces and you got to find the pieces, and then if you find the pieces, then you can do the thing. Chances are you kill, because it's a Miyazaki, it'll probably be you kill all those 8 and then you have one big boss battle at the end that is some twisty aspect of it. Spoilers for Demon Souls, because Demon Souls came out 2008. I think we're good on that. You kill all the bosses in Demon Souls, who are these lords that have you have to get their souls to help vanquish this big bad evil thing that poured evil onto the lands and created all of this. Well, it turns out that you doing that actually helps the big bad evil thing. And at the end, you're given a choice. You can become the next evil thing and take on that power for yourself, or you can choose to cleanse the land, which basically starts a cycle again. But it's kind of a twist, because the the person who's been guiding you the whole time has duped you into doing this, because she wants you to join forces with this evil thing. So maybe some twist like that in here. I think it looks good, but it looks like a PS4 game. It looks like a PS4 game, and we're in PS5 land now.
That's kind of the theme of E3, though. I think there wasn't anything that really looked next gen. I think they did confirm Starfield is series only.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah. Starfield series only, and I just played Stranger of Paradise. This is the Final Fantasy. I know I'm jumping way ahead. This is the Final Fantasy Souls-esque game, and it is Souls-esque. I've
heard this is so much fun.
I love it.
Nobody that I've talked to has said this is bad to play. The only thing they say is it looks terrible. It looks like a PS4. It looks like PS3. It was supposed to be a PS3 game, apparently.
Oh, geez. I mean, okay, because I was going to say it looks like a launch or shortly after launch PS4 game. And, we are in, they're it's not done. But this game, doesn't it come out this year?
I don't know if they actually said.
Maybe I'm wrong. But, I mean, I don't think it's going to look that much better when it releases. It's not like a Halo situation where... it's not a Halo situation where they're here's a trailer and it's coming out next year. This game,
it says 2022.
2022. Okay, there's a chance that they're gonna improve it, but I mean the characters, your main character, very tropey edgelord kind of grumbly guy. The gameplay's really good though. It's not too. It's difficult, but there are some forgiving moments to it. And much like Dark Souls, if you die, like all the enemies respawn. You got to go back to the last checkpoint that you were at. But some things other than just like bosses, some other things do. Like there were like these 3 portals, and I closed off 2 and then died. So when I got back there's only 1 portal left. So it's like it saved some of it. It is difficult. I played it on normal. You can throw it down to easy. I
will.
I know you will. I was gonna say, as I was playing this, I'm like Owen needs to play this on easy. Try it out. It's still probably going to be challenging on easy.
I'll start it on normal as long as it lets you bump down.
I don't remember if it does. I'll go check that. But like I played it. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Much like the whole time I was playing it, I was thinking this is like Final Fantasy and Souls and Jedi Fallen Order. Like it reminded me of Jedi Fallen Order, where it's like it's difficult but not that bad. Where Dark Souls, if you're not paying attention, some like low level like enemy can just come up and like hit you, and it knocks down like over half of your health. It's not that bad. Like you're fighting goblins at the beginning, and it is forgiving. The boss battles are difficult, but you beat what's his name, Ramu in FF7 remake, and that was challenging. So
I beat him on normal.
Yeah.
It took me. I came back. I had to come back once I got crap. I already forgot his name. I had to come back with the second member of the party.
I couldn't do it with the second member. Like I was having trouble. So
you haven't beat him yet?
I haven't beat him yet. Yeah. So, I mean, go check out the demo. Try it out.
Win Nujitsu. Throw the star, run away, and win Nujitsu.
Yeah.
Is what I definitely like. I'm not saying I like cheesed him, but there was definitely a lot of me running away from him.
I just kept getting locked.
Good.
Yeah, I just kept getting like shocked, stun locked. I'm like, Jesus, yeah. But yeah, I've liked this. Yeah.
We'll stay on Square for a second.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy. It visually again.
Mm-hmm.
It looks awful. It doesn't like. Now that we've heard that it's coming to Switch, which we found out during Nintendo's presentation, it makes a lot more sense. Although they did say it is streaming, so it's a streaming to Switch situation.
Yeah.
So visually, it looks awful. Everything else about it looked fun.
It looks awful.
I want to play this game.
100%. I mean, it's probably going to be fun. Looks awful. There were people complaining, and I'm sorry, you can go away. People complaining that Drax doesn't sound like Dave Bautista, and this doesn't look like this. It's like, no, this is Guardians of the Galaxy. This is this
Guardians
version.
Of the Galaxy.
It's not MCU
it's
Guardians.
Just like Avengers.
Yeah, it's not MCU Guardians, but they specifically said, like, after the trailer, they had some devs talking about it, and they were like, it was important to us. We didn't want to redo that, and what's that?
You want to know what important means?
Yeah.
It was cheaper.
Well,
you know how expensive likenesses are, y'all?
I didn't even think about it like that. Like that Drax is much more like comic book Drax.
Yeah.
And he's not as dense as Drax is when it comes to the jokey missing metaphors constantly stuff, which is funny. But they wanted to do their own thing. The only downside that I see to this is you play Peter Quill, you play Star-Lord. You don't get to toggle and go, okay, well, let's try Gamora's combat. Let's try Drax's combat. And then your choices that you're making are as Star-Lord as well. And I kind of wish that I could toggle between them. Final Fantasy spoiled me on that. And B, some of the, at least, maybe we don't know this yet, but I hope that some of the dialogue choices aren't just Peter Quill. They're not just him making choices. Because I liked the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale. I like getting like branching dialogue trees, and I like, if I made a choice that's going to affect the future of what I'm going to do. So I'm gonna play it because it's probably gonna be fun. But yeah, it does look like crap, and it probably runs like crap on the Switch because we still have not gotten a Switch Pro release announcement or anything.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know how long this game's been in development, and so that's another thing. That's what was really weird about E3 as a whole. But I think that this is what we wanted Avengers to be, a single player game,
Yes.
story driven, cool action combat.
Yeah.
I do agree that it would be nice if we could play the different characters, but I get them being like, no, you're going to control the one we want you to, and everybody else is just your gang. Like if I could see it from the same perspective of Avengers. Like if you were just going to play as Kamala Khan,
Sure.
in Avengers, I could see that being a thing and would respect it even, and I'm going to respect it here. I'm still going to wait for reviews because I want to make sure that it runs okay, but so far I want to play this game. It's not like Avengers where I was immediately off put by being online only and all that stuff.
You can play Avengers. There's a single player component to Avengers, a campaign that is a few hours long, and it's. I haven't played in a while. I know they had additional stuff that they released, so maybe there's more. Excuse me. There's more stuff that's there. The Black Panther, Wakanda DLC's coming out. If it's adding single player stuff and single player like campaign stuff, I'm gonna guess it's only.
Have they put it on Game Pass?
A few hours. I don't know. I mean, I own it. I was a sucker and bought it, but
I remember when you bought it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's on Game Pass. I mean, I hope it's on Game Pass for the player base to get people to
it's on PlayStation
to try it. So there you go. But I mean, like I said, I like what I've not what I've seen in regards to graphics, but in regards to like here's the story, here's the tone, some of the joking on it, some of the the story in in hearing like where they're talking in dialogue and saying, okay, well we need to make some money. Oh, and this person buys monsters and Groot's like, sell me. Like, oh, should we sell Rocket or Groot? I was like, that's a really messed up story, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like that's what the Guardians of the Galaxy would do. All right, we're gonna sell you, and then we'll go break you out of the. That's cool. Like I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I like the idea of like where it showed you throwing Rocket and Rocket being angry that you just decided to let him be thrown. Where I'm like, Rocket's gonna be a Cincy, in this game, isn't he? There's definitely one big one that we want to talk to. We can probably end with that, but I was both happy and sad to be wrong about Zelda Rabbids, but that we are getting a Mario Rabbids sequel.
Yeah.
Sparks of Hope, which being like set more in Super Mario Galaxy, which I still have yet to play, which I now own on 3D All-Stars and I should play, but this looks awesome. Looks great. Love it. Love everything about it. Let's go.
Yeah, it looks great. I actually put in my my notes on here that the what do they call this? Is it Starmies? I wrote it down, but I don't have it in front of me. That's what happens with notes. You're supposed to have them in front of you. Yeah, the stars. I was like, these are better than Minions. Like it's a similar like, oh, I'm goofy and I'm dumb kind of, and I don't. Like, there's no language to it. Yeah. Is that what they are?
That's what they are in Super Mario Galaxy.
I thought they've got a new name here. All right. The oh, it is just Sparks. Okay. I said
the game is called Sparks of Hope.
Yeah. So Sparks. I said Sparks better than Minions. Like I think they're funnier. It's a similar trope. I get it, but I like that it fits in the Rabbids universe in that kind of tone and that quirkiness and that hilarity. The gameplay looks great though, and I didn't play the previous one. And now I'm like, maybe I should go back and play it. I thought I had the gameplay queued up. I'm like, maybe I need to go back and play or go grab the first one. Did you like it?
You didn't play the first one?
I didn't. No.
Oh, dude, it's $9.99 right now on the eShop. Go buy it.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Like if you like XCOM at all, it's fantastic. Right. It's great. Like it's a tactical. Mario. Dude. Yeah. It's so good. And it's $9.99 right now on the eShop.
With that price off, and jump in there.
And I think you might be able to pay a few dollars more and get the whole thing, like $14.99 or something like that, which does come with like the Donkey Kong thing, because there's a Donkey Kong DLC.
Throw that in the calendar.
Where they do the isotropic thing. So I honestly didn't care for the Donkey Kong thing. So if you didn't want to pay for whichever one you want, but a lot of people love the Donkey Kong thing.
Yeah.
I just wasn't feeling it for some reason at the time. Maybe I should go back and try it, but it's super cheap right now. Go play it.
Yeah, I'm putting a little reminder on here.
So good, and so I'm definitely in on the sequel. I wish it was Zelda, but
yeah,
I'm fine.
I wish it was too. I'm just trying to keep up here because we could go on for hours talking about this. Sea of Thieves, which I was really happy when I saw that. So you haven't been to Disney World, have you? Or Disney World or Disneyland?
Not since I was a young child.
Okay, so this right here, like before they even said it was Jack Sparrow, the pirate with the bone trying to get keys from a dog is a very iconic part in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Like there's an animatronic doing this exact thing, whistling at a dog, and the dog's like, and the dog's got the keys. So okay, so I was like, we're doing a Disney. Like I was like, are we doing a Disney tie-in? Seriously? I may have to go back and play some Sea of Thieves tie-in here with Disney and Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun game. So I may have to go back and try out this story and. Yeah,
Game Pass, baby.
Yep. I mean, I already have it, but yeah. But if you don't,
I own it too.
Yeah, but yeah, if you don't, Game Pass. Sea of Thieves is really fun. I'll have to see how much the DLC is going to be on this. I may have to go back and play that because I liked the game, and this is how you do a DLC. You're like, hey, you liked Sea of Thieves? Here's this amazing DLC tie-in thing for you, which probably cost them a good amount of money. Go and it entices people to come back and play it. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, good for them. I think that when the game launched, it was kind of a meme. Even though I loved it from the beginning, I've put a couple hundred hours into Sea of Thieves, and so I have not played it in about 6 months or so. But it's always been fun. It's just arcade. I think that they nailed like just being out on the water, even though like running the boat is like arcade like, it's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend trying it.
Yeah. I'll before we talk about the big things, I think the big thing's the last thing you want to talk about, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say here's some highlights of games that impressed me. They got on my list of I didn't even know I wanted this thing.
Sure.
So starting out with Replaced on Xbox, we already talked about Plaguetail, but Replaced, the art style in this one really, I don't know, I just absolutely loved this old school pixel art on there. Let me just zoom in, there we go. It intrigued me. I mean, the whole style and art thing, I'm like, I'm sold. Anybody who's gonna spend time and go back to do something like that. What was the other one? Somerville. This one was really cool. Another thing that I didn't expect. Waiting for it to queue up. Here we go. Again, art style got me and everything. Kind of softness involved here. I'm assuming that you're going out to find things, to find I don't know if it's supplies or whatever it is. I'm curious if any of this is really happening or if this is in your dreams, because you're like laying there with your, it's a man and a woman and a dog like laying on the couch, and I'm like, is this like in their dream? Is this a flashback, flash forward? I thought that was cool. And what was the other one? There's quite a few in here that I could bring up, but Inscription was part of the Devolver presentation. Devolver was obviously meta as usual. Inscription, spooky, mini-gamey, escape, whatever. Like, I don't know what all's going on here, but the mix and match of this mini game mixed with some other things that pop in here. I was hooked and intrigued and wanted to know more. Again, puzzles, like I'm doing this, now I'm going to be able to do these other things. I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. That's what I love about Resident Evil. And it's a Devolver, so it'll probably be relatively cheap when it comes to the price point. So those are my quick takeaways of things that The great Ace Attorney Chronicles coming in here. I love stuff like this. Apparently, this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is like 3 games that we haven't gotten here that were in Japan. If I'm not mistaken,
I think so. You're right.
yeah. So, I mean, I love Ace Attorney. I love this. Like I said, I love this kind of stuff. I love mystery.
It comes out soon, next month, I think.
Yeah, next month, a collection. So, and on Nintendo, I think it's gonna be something that obviously with our backbones and our Razer Kishis and stuff, everything can be handheld now. But I think this lends itself well to Nintendo. So,
I think it comes out on PS4 as well. So if you're looking for, if you still want that handheld on your phone experience, it'll still be there. It's also, I think, on Steam also.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be one of those things where I don't get it right away, but my wife, she was more into the Professor Layton series than Ace Attorney, but I did get her the Ace Attorney trilogy when it was out before, and she played through it. And so it's probably one of those things that I can tuck away for a Christmas present.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
One that I didn't write down, and so you're not going to have it queued up or anything, but it was just, I don't know if you remember seeing it, but the Planet of Lana.
I don't think so.
Only because they said it's a hand painted game. So in terms of the art that they did for the game, it was hand painted. So it looks cool. And then I was gonna say that we had the last one, and I can't believe we didn't write it down though, dude. But Metroid Dread looks dope.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't write that one down either. So we have like a summary that we're going off here at this point. No, Metroid Dread was great. I love very Nintendo, very coming out saying we showed you Metroid. We're still working on Metroid Prime 4. Here's something else from Metroid. It looks great. It looks polished, and isn't it coming out like? It's not next month, is it?
I think it's October 8th.
Yeah. So yeah,
that adds $60 more to my list.
So I need to create a list like you're doing right here, where it's like, all right, what am I up against, and what am I going to buy, and what is going to go into my. I'll buy it later. There's some things I need to have now. There's some things that I can wait for.
Do you know the story behind this game? I don't know the whole story.
No.
But do you know
No.
This game was actually supposed to be a sequel to I think it's Fusion. So I think it was supposed to be a sequel to Fusion. It was in development in like the early 2000s, like 2004, 2005, somewhere in there. Went through development like hell. Eventually, I think it was like canceled, and then just here it is rising from the ashes, looking beautiful. I'm almost glad that this game didn't come out on DS because it looks so good.
Yeah.
The 2.5D of it, I know that that's not for everybody, but daggum, I'm not even a huge Metroid fan, and actually I think my favorite Metroidvania is oh no, I'm not even going to be able to think of the name of it. The game that was made by like one person that we're getting.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember offhand. Yeah. So it's not actually the Metroid series, but I
actually have never been like a big Metroid person, but the art style, Samus's suit, everything about this trailer was so good. And I know apparently people were like, "Oh, it's been teased," and I had no idea.
I missed it.
I think I did a good job of avoiding teases there. Totally gonna buy this game.
100%. No, I'm in a similar camp. Like Metroid, I didn't own a Super Nintendo. Didn't play Metroid. Played it afterwards. I was like, it's okay. It's difficult, but it didn't resonate with me. I didn't have any nostalgia. So I haven't played a lot of Metroid. I played a lot of Castlevania games, which I'd say they have with the Metroidvania tie-in. It's not exactly the same, but that kind of connection there. This is probably going to be the first Metroid game that I buy at launch or around launch. It looks great, and also looks like it's something that would resonate with me because I love the horror trope and everything. And the one thing that I'll say before we do the one more thing is both Owen and I you pre-ordered this, right?
Oh yeah, immediately.
So as soon as that's right. I was scouring trying to find a place to find a pre-order. Pre-ordered it.
Cheap A gamers, dude. CAG
Yeah. Oh, okay.
must follow.
Yeah. So, I was at first when they announced it, I was like, okay, but I don't have the original games. I have the ROMs, or I have the re-releases or whatever, and I thought I may or may not play this, but at the same time, having it, as part of my collection, you got your Game and Watch Mario over there, right?
Yeah.
And how's the quality on that, by the way? It's okay. I mean,
it's the camera that's gonna mess that up.
Oh, sure. No, I meant like the like playing it,
go.
like, because it seems like it may get cramp your hands a little bit, but
it's nostalgic.
Yeah.
In that way.
yeah, but Zelda, Link to the Past, right? Yeah, Zelda.
No. No. This is Zelda. Legend of Zelda,
Yeah.
Zelda 2,
Yeah.
and the original version of Link's Awakening.
Link's
So it's the Game
Awakening.
Boy
That's
version.
right. No, that's right. Yeah, and then the Game and Watch thing that I don't know, like, if I'm gonna play it, but I was like, I thought about buying the Mario one. I may end up going to grab one, but I am such a Zelda fan that I thought I'm gonna regret not picking this up, just to have it in my collection. So pre-ordered that, and thank you, by the way, for sending the link earlier. Pre-ordered my Skyward Sword. I already had it pre-ordered at Best Buy, but Walmart with some socks and a keychain for the same price. Or right around the same price. So for around the same price point, I got some Zelda socks. Yeah, I canceled my pre-order at Best Buy. Sorry, Best Buy. I love fun socks.
If you could get it for $50, like a lot of things do when it's physical in the store at launch, but most pre-orders are going to be at $60. But it was absolutely dumb. I was actually going to buy the game digitally, and then I saw this stupid pair of socks and this stupid keychain with the hanging sword on it, and I was like, all right.
Yeah. Well, now you know what? I feel like the Zelda keychain. Like I have a Resident Evil umbrella keychain on mine, because of course I do. And I was thinking with the sword, I'm like afraid it'll like detach or something. So I feel like it's gonna be for like a spare house key, and it'll be like it's a spare house key or something like that that'll be on my key. We've got some key holders like right by the door to the garage, and I feel like it needs to be there as a like almost like a it's dangerous to go alone kind of situation, where it's there by its lonesome so you can see it and enjoy it, because I feel like if it's on my everyday keychain, it's gonna like
the sword will
break.
probably come off at some point.
The sword will come off, because my umbrella, it's a metal umbrella symbol for Resident Evil that I've had on for like probably 3 years or so. It's beaten to heck, but it gives it kind of some good like used feel to it. But I don't want to do that to the Hylian shield, and I don't want to break off the Master Sword, but. We'll figure out a place for it.
This is one of those things where I could actually see myself putting this one in my bag, because I never beat Zelda 2.
Me either.
And
I haven't beat Zelda 1 either.
I am going to, we are going to go over to Rose Colored Gaming and buy whatever stand they make for it, because they are going to make a stand. They made a Mario stand whenever this one came out. So I assume Rose Colored Gaming is going to make a Zelda stand. I'm going to buy it because I buy all their stuff. I wish they would just give me a big discount for how much I talk about them. But I mean, also, whatever this picture is, like, does it come in this box? Because maybe I won't need one. Maybe they're giving you a stand to go with it. But
so.
I could actually see myself carrying this one around to play the Adventure of Link a little bit. I'm sure that there will be some button combination that gives you more lives.
I hope so.
Because I think that exists in this Mario one. I think you can get 99 lives for Super Mario Brothers. It's absolutely disappointing that they don't. It's clear that they don't care about Zelda's anniversary. They didn't care about Metroid's anniversary, which makes sense because Metroid doesn't sell. But this franchise does.
Yeah.
And they clearly don't care, because this is what they said. They're like, hey, it's Zelda's anniversary. Here's a Game & Watch. Okay, cool. I'm going to buy it. If this is all we get, I'm a little upset, but, fine. Whatever. I really wish that they would do more.
Yeah.
Maybe there's been some talk on the interwebs that because COVID slowed so many things down, maybe they're going to save it for early next year because like that'll still be like within that fiscal
Sure.
year period or whatever to where it works out that they can still save 35. But I don't know.
That really does look, by the way, that really does look like it comes like that's the box that
I
it
hope
comes
so.
with. Because if that's the case, that's what it's staying in, right up here. Yeah, it's pretty. I hope so too. I hope what I'm hopeful for, or I'm hoping that they do for the anniversary. I would like to see on Switch. I'd like to see a collection release that has like Wind Waker, has Ocarina. I think Ocarina and Majora together. I mean, I'd like to
The
see
3D
like
versions, hopefully.
yeah, exactly. The 3DS versions. Give me that. I've got them on my Wii U. They're fine, but it's the Wii U. I want to play it on. I want to play it on my Switch. Wind Waker on the Switch. Like, I would love to see that kind of collection, like they did with Mario. My guess is that they don't want to price those 3 games like for $60. But at the same time, those games are considerably older now. I absolutely love them, but those 3 for $60, or I don't know if there'd be another one I would throw in there, unless it's Twilight Princess, Ocarina, and Wind Waker. Like, I don't like a trio like that, and be like the Zelda collection, whatever. Maybe throw in like OG Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2.
I want a remake of Ocarina. Like we were dreaming big.
Oh yeah.
I want them to remake Ocarina in just I don't know, just whatever. Just remake Ocarina to where it's playable. The 3D version is playable, but I have it. I do have it on my Wii U. I bought it on 3DS also. So
Yeah.
I actually do intend to play it, the 3D version, to see if I can get into it again, because the 3D version of Majora is great.
You're talking about the 3DS version, right?
Right.
Yeah. I loved it. I beat it twice on the 3DS. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
and so
smooth.
that'll be a thing that but I'd rather just have it on the Switch. I'd rather have it on a 7-inch screen and something that I can put up on my television with my controller as opposed to my 3DS, which
Yeah.
I like it. I'm still looking for a Pokemon Silver, Heart Silver, or Soul Silver or Heart Gold cart, if anybody wants to find me one of those. So I still want to play my 3DS very occasionally, but
I haven't played it in forever. I'm going to be putting it up on the wall, by the way, because I have some extra holders. Then they're generic ones, but I'm gonna put my Vita up there, put my 3DS up there. I think it deserves a spot there, just so then it's more accessible. So to end the night, to end E3, because this was the icing on the cake for E3, and I'm glad they didn't rush this, by the way, with COVID going on, because they could have tried to rush it. But sequel to Breath of the Wild, we still don't have a title. Breath of the Wild 2, whatever you want to call it.
They did confirm that the title exists. They just don't want to tell us it.
Yes, I was going to say, they said that the titles are always important. They're meaningful. Basically, it would give too much away. They think it's too early for right now to give it away. Did you have a theory or like a guess on the title? You said Sky something?
No, I mean, I was throwing stuff out,
okay.
but I think that you can keep Wild in the title, maybe, but I think you could also call it something like Skyward Bound.
Yeah.
I think that I now have a very big theory about this game.
Okay.
I am very, very convinced that the timeline is coming full circle. So, for those who don't know, Skyward Sword and Skyward Sword HD comes out at the on July 16th, and I think that it ties into that even more. I think that says even more of why we got a Skyward HD as opposed to getting Ocarina or something else.
Because Skyward is the first in the series.
Skyward opens the timeline to Zelda. This game very much starts, or at least this trailer shows Link in the same exact flying pattern as Link from Skyward. I'm very convinced that we are now going back to Skyloft, or whatever remains of Skyloft. I actually haven't finished Skyward Sword. There's a whole ex-girlfriend story of why I didn't finish Skyward. So I'm going to be finishing that.
I think
the HD version. Whenever I play that, that's priority 1 for July. I think that we're wrapping the timeline. That doesn't mean that no more Zelda games are ever going to come out. There's still plenty that they can do, but
Those
I think that I don't know if we're do a whole kill the timeline thing by bookending it with this game, but I'm super convinced that this is like the full circle thing. The antagonist from Skyward, what's his name? It starts with like a D or something.
I don't remember. I didn't beat that one either, but that's only because I'm terrible. I mean,
no, it starts with a G. Girahim. Really cool looking dude, by the way. Maybe he shows up somehow. I don't know, but I think Skyloft. I think timeline wrap. I think loop. I think a lot of things happen here. Mm-hmm. There's another theory going around that we see Zelda dropping into this hole here. Is she dropping down to like land, and like is Zelda finally playable where like you get to see her like be kind of on her own and do some Zelda missions? I'm in the camp that there's no way. I don't think Nintendo has the guts, but I'm sure everybody's going to dissect even more about this. Link clearly has some kind of disease thing going on while he's flying through that sky thing. You see his arms like covered in stuff. You see some kind of time mechanic there happening with the chain ball. There's people that are going to be able to analyze this way more than me, but I'm proud of myself that before I saw it on Twitter, before I saw it in my Discord things, I was like, we're going back to Skyloft, baby. Yeah. And then I started seeing it pop up more. I'm 100% in. I was already 100% in. I'm 110% in. Yeah. I'm even that much more interested because it makes it that much more of an interesting game. Before we were just like, it's a Breath of the Wild sequel. Yeah. We're getting more Breath of the Wild. We get to maybe see some Calamity stuff. Mm-hmm. Maybe, are we digging for Ganon, or Ganondorf? Are we finding him and what's going on there? Now it's like bigger picture to me. Now I could be completely wrong, and who knows, maybe we are, but this scene right here, alone, I was like, teasers. Well, I think it's purposeful. One way or another, it's purposeful. You have the floating islands, very, very Skyloft-esque. When they were like, hey, we're doing Breath of the Wild, we're doing a sequel to the Breath of the Wild, and I can't remember the exact wording that they mentioned when they talked about the Breath of the Wild like a year ago. They were talking about like going back to that land, and as gamers, if you're just playing the same map, we're going to be bored. It's like, what is there to explore? I've already been here. I've done this. At first, I was thinking, okay, well, maybe we're going to go back to 100 years, because the first teaser that we had was showing the Link and Zelda, and I was like, but we've done that with, or they've done that basically with the Hyrule Warriors stuff. We're already playing in that area. Do you need to do more of it? Bringing in the timeline would be really cool. I would love to see if it does do something like that. If we do see a bookend like that, I would love to see like a self-sacrifice, like at the very end, story-wise, and then you wake up, because that's what Link does, and you wake up in the Deku Tree. Like they're like every time he wakes up, it's because it's like almost like a reincarnation. That's why we keep playing him. We keep playing so even if this is at the end, like it's as a way to show the story and the legend continues, and the cycle will continue even if you're not starting at the beginning again. You're going back to here. Yeah, you're going back to here, back to there, back to here. Every time you finish, every time you beat Agent Smith, the anomaly's going to come up again. Zelda comes up. It's the three pieces of the Triforce have to happen. They have to converge. They can't coexist. It wipes the slate one way or another. I
I don't want this to be the last in this area because I absolutely loved Breath of the Wild. But I'd be okay if they were like, this is big, this is fun, this is important, this is monumental. I'd be okay with it. I part of me wishes it was a trilogy where where this is part 2 and then part 3 is gonna be something else. If it's not, I would at least like them to keep the gameplay and mechanics and everything Breath of the Wild. I feel like it hit every aspect of Zelda, so that way maybe I don't think we're going to get it in this one. The next one has similar navigation mechanics and all that, but maybe we'll actually get some dungeons.
I think the other thing, and again, this is all theory. It's not a theory because again, Nintendo doesn't have the guts to do it. It's just like Nintendo does not have the guts to make Zelda playable. But if we were going along with my this wraps the timeline theory, what if then that somehow like started the game that we've been talking about on this show for years with The Legend of Link? Like, what if that started a Link timeline where Link is the royal subject and Zelda was the person.
Zelda was like the stable girl, whatever.
Just something
like,
and we're obviously like years in the making, but like just what if there was some kind of wrap up like that?
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I mean, I've said for a long time, I would love to see a Legend of Zelda where you go back and forth, where it's like you play Link up until a certain point, and then you have to go complete some stuff as Zelda, similar to Ocarina, where you have to go back and forth as adult Link and child Link. Imagine if you have to complete something as Link, and then you need to toggle one way or another, however it is. Maybe you bring up a musical instrument or whatever, and you tell Zelda, "Hey, I've done this. Can you?" What do you see on your end? And then you switch to Zelda and you have to play as her. So similar to child and adult Link, switch back and forth to Link and Zelda. Chances are they would give Zelda a smaller role in it, but I think it'd be cool. I still think
like Mary Jane Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like Insomniac
that was
Spider-Man.
Fun. That was really cool. Yeah. Give him a role like that.
That could be like a start if there was just a start to it. I still don't. I'm going to stand by it. I don't think that Nintendo can do it. I just think that they're afraid to take Link out because he's just an icon. I think Zelda's an icon too at this point with Smash and how she is just like Peach is an icon. But like you don't play as Peach in Super Mario games. You play like you can in very specific ones. But very rarely do they let you play as Peach. They finally did, I think, in 3D World, and you can play as her in Super Mario 2. There might be a couple other times, but I don't think that they're willing to give it up. But I can dream, and I can now dream even bigger with this potential. Like, I think Skyloft's happening. I'm calling that home run right there. That somehow Skyloft is related. There's tons of artifacts from Skyloft in Breath of the Wild 1. I think the scene showing the soaring down on the ground. Like, do we get a dang? I'm so bad at remembering. Yeah,
I can't remember this. It's not Skywind. I can't remember what the Zelda bird was.
Something wing. Loftwing.
Loftwing. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a Loftwing. I think it's too much. I think maybe getting one of the Rito to help you because they are in Breath of the Wild. True. So you maybe something like that goes on, but I don't think we're gonna actually get. We're not think we're actually going to get to full on have a flying mount. I don't think it's going to happen, but I cannot wait. Best thing.
I could talk about this game for like another hour. I've definitely watched the trailer a few times at this point, and somebody's going to dissect it. There will be some Zelda heads that will do even more than I have. They said they're aiming for 2022. That means they're probably not going to hit it, but we can dream of like a November 2022. I am a little sad that it's that far away, especially because they had this engine already made. This is an engine they've been working on since the Wii U. I get that COVID messed up some things, but if we get this in November 2022, that will be 5.5 years since the last one came out. That's a really long gap of time. I don't care for it, but I am also, you know, with this particular franchise, no matter when it comes out, I'm going to be there for it.
Yeah.
Um, I waited, I waited an entire generation for Breath of the Wild. I bought a Wind Waker HD Wii U. That was what made me buy the Wii U, and that thing sat on my shelf dormant until Breath of the Wild came out. After I played Wind Waker, I'll wait again. I don't care. I don't care if a new Switch 2 comes out. My Switch will be there ready. For Breath of the Wild 2. I just threw my hands in the air. I have such an emotional attachment to Breath of the Wild.
That
game means so much to me.
I watched it. I was like, I want to play Breath of the Wild again. And I know Skyward.
I really
Skyward
just want to play it on a Switch Pro.
I do too.
I'm like this close to rolling the game again, but I'm like I'm holding out because I'm like can I just get 1080p?
We've got Final Fantasy VII. I've got other games that are out. Skyward Sword's coming out next month. I've got that pre-ordered. I'm gonna play through it as well. I hope so I may play Skyward Sword and then go into play Breath of the Wild and see if I piece anything together. And by that time, people will have theorized a bunch of stuff. But I'm very excited. Let us know in the comments what your favorite part of E3 was. If we missed it, we're sorry. There's way too much here. We were trying to keep it an hour. We still went over. But let us know in the comments what some of your favorite things for E3 were. Like, subscribe, do all those kind of things. Join us on Discord, and we'll see you later.
Bye.